Hello, Mr. Ranny Duck, and welcome back for another video. This time in the Tier 8 Japanese tech tree tank destroyer, the Ho-Ri 2. So we're continuing the grind for this Japanese line, and what I'm going to do is, it's a new line, I'm just going to briefly go over the statistics of this tank, and then we'll get into the gameplays which we have for you today, and we'll explain it a little bit better then. So this tank destroyer, you have the 400 alpha gun with 250 penetration on your standard rounds with 900 shell velocity, then 285 penetration on your premium rounds with 1000 shell velocity, 80 alpha on your HE with 515 alpha, so these could be some quite nice to just boost your damage a little bit. You then have 8 degrees of gun depression, which is quite good because it allows you to play those ridge lines a lot easier. One thing I found the biggest annoyance playing this tank for me is that its top speed is limited to 30 kilometers an hour, and I just felt that it was a little bit sluggish to get around the map, and it would be nice if it was a little bit quicker. But you do have good DPM. I think the DPM's at about 2,992 with my setup, and the concealment is 231 with my setup, which you will see at the start of the video. So you can be pretty stealthy, which can allow you to play some, get off some decent shots and without getting detected, which is quite handy. And it does have a little bit of armour. You can bounce a few shots as well off around sort of the mantlet area, but you do have quite a sort of big cupola, which is a bit of a weak point, but you can bounce the odd shots, which is quite good as well. But that is pretty much the basics of the statistics. Let's just get into the replay and we can just see exactly how we get on. So yeah, I'll stop rambling and we'll start with the first replay. Okay, so here we are for replay number 1. And if you want to see my setup, you will see it at the bottom of the screen now. So we are in a top tier game with 1 enemy artillery piece, 2 enemy light tanks, a few tank destroyers, and then some heavy tanks and some mediums. So initially I'm just going to try and push up on the left hand side and use this ridge, which you can use with your 8 degrees of gun depression, and to see if we can catch any tanks out early. Just get some information on a mini-map to see where tanks are, and then we can work out what we're going to do. But quite early door you can see that the tank has been spotted, and we're going to try and get some damage in here. Now, one thing I forgot to mention at the start, which was probably quite important, that this tank does have a secondary gun which you can swap to. You only have, I think, 70 alpha on the small gun, but it can be quite handy just to swap to track tanks in place, or as you can see when you're fighting the lightly armoured tanks, you can even pick up a bit of damage. If you're fighting Borsigs or stuff with no armour, you can just swap to that to boost your damage, and it can be quite handy. And it's also useful for just shooting down destructible cover and things which are in your way. So we've had a decent start to this game. We managed to pick up 4 pens, sort of 1,300 damage, and we're looking to see if we can squeeze a shot in here to that the enemy heavy tank. You see me swap to my small gun there, and you can see that I wasn't actually able to aim down your that gun. So that's something you've got to be aware of. Obviously, you don't have the 8 degrees of gun depression on your secondary weapon, so you only have quite a small arc to shoot with that gun. But it can be quite handy, and it can be quite useful actually in certain situations. So we've got off to a really nice start in this replay, picking up 2,000 damage and 1 kill, still remain all of our hit points. We're then able to finish off the IS-2-2 to confirm our second kill of the game, putting us into a lead by 3 tanks and starting to take a little bit of control of this map. You can see our team has moved up, which is going to allow me to now move up because I kind of got what I needed to at that start position. And now I've got a bit more information to work with, so I'm going to try and move in and see if we can get any more damage. Before we do this, there's a J-Panther 2 which gets detected. Don't quite roll high enough to finish him off, but we do pick one in, picking up 2,500 damage there, and we're starting to take a real lead in this battle now. And if I want to try and get as much out of this, I need to try and be a little bit more aggressive and get right in there. Going to try and deal with this enemy Panther, who is a 2-shot to us, but we actually roll high enough to take him out there, picking up our 3rd kill. The enemy artillery is looking for us. I'm going to keep an eye out where that artillery tracer comes from, but when he fires at us, because that's going to give us an indication where he is. So you can see there, we know exactly where the artillery is now. He's going to be on the left-hand side. I don't want to head all the way over to the artillery because most of the damage is to our right on the outside of the outskirts of the town now. But I'm going to keep an eye on the artillery because it looks like a light tank that's going for him. And he does get detected, so I do turn to see if I can get a shot in. But he's behind the ridge and it's not going to be possible. So I'm just going to leave the artillery for our friendly light tank to try and deal with, because I want to try and get into the damage now. And it's still... we are winning this game, but it's not won yet. It could turn from there. We don't manage to get some more damage out of this game. Got to be a little bit careful. We do put that enemy heavy tank onto a one-shot, putting us into just shy of 4,000 damage now. So having a good game. I was seeing if I could squeeze a shot into the enemy tank destroyer there, but that wasn't going to be possible. So I'm just going to have to make my advance now. We finish off the enemy defender. And now we're just going to go in. We're going to eat the shot of this tank destroyer because I can't take my hit points to the next game. So I'm just going to move in, trade the shot. He's on a one shot. Pick up the kill, put this onto 4,200 damage with 6 kills and 1 enemy tank destroyer, the audience left. So I do have a possibility for a devastator. Now our friendly King Dragon got taken out by the audience, so we know roughly where he's located because we just remembered the tracer. He just fired again, and you can see the tracer was from the sort of, well, I thought that was us. Maybe that was one of our friendly team which shot down there. I'm looking to try and get over to that side of the map, but I need to try and find an opening to cross here through these tracks. He's around here somewhere. I'm just waiting to be detected because I'm moving. He's probably going to spot me if he's stationary. He's probably going to shoot at us, and that's fine. I just want to know where he is because I can eat a shot, maybe even 2 shots potentially. And I just want to try and pick up some more damage and try and get this kill. Now he gets detected, and I'm thinking, right, let's get this shot in. Opportunity for a devastator, but I fluffed a shot. I tried to swap to the small gun, but I actually realised I was swapping to HE because I didn't hold it down enough. And I wasn't able to swap to the small gun and pick up the kill, which is a shame because I missed out on that devastator medal there. But we do get 6 kills, 4,200 damage, the high caliber, and the first class medal. And that is it for replay number 1, but with one more replay to come. So let's move on to the final replay of this video. Okay, so we're on Fearpool Ridge here for the second replay. Again, we are top tier. There's 1 enemy artillery, 1 enemy light tank, and a fairly balanced lobby in this particular one. We still have quite a few TDs, but overall it's better than some of the ones where you have like 10 TDs on your team. So initially we are going to try and push to the left hand side of the map and see what we can do. This is where I just feel like the tank's a little bit sluggish. At 30 kilometers an hour top speed, when you played the premium tier 8, the mobility is just a lot nicer, and I just wish it was a little bit quicker. Even if you had 40 kilometers an hour, it'd be good. I mean, the tank's still okay. I do think this is a fairly decent tier 8 tank destroyer, but it's just the mobility. I think for me, like if I was looking at this tank or the J Panther 2, for example, I think J Panther 2 is just a better tank. But having said that, I have enjoyed actually playing this one, and I think it is probably out of the line I've done so far. Obviously, I've only got to the tier 8. I think this has been probably my favourite one out of all of them. Obviously, I haven't got to the 9 or the 10 yet. Those videos will come when I get that far on the grind. But we're just going to try and move across on this map. I'm trying to get to the edge so I can try and get shots of these TDs and see if we can utilise the concealment value of the tank and try and play as a bit of a tank destroyer. But obviously a lot of our tanks have gone this way, so if our heavy tanks get up in the brawl, we should be able to cover them and try and get some shots in. Enemy medium tank gets detected. I'm going to stop and try and get a shot in. I do actually get detected though, so I'm just going to try and wiggle to try and get to this rock in front of me as a little bit of safety. We actually hit that snapshot on the move. A little bit fortunate for that, but thankful for it as well. And now we do lose our spots. We're going to try and get another one into that enemy medium tank, which we do, picking up our 3rd shot of the game and picking up a tiny bit of assistance. But we're actually getting detected now, and it's from this enemy tank destroyer in the front of us. That's a tank which is lighting us. I'd like to try and get a shot into him. We do finish off the enemy Victoria, but I've got to be careful because with this TD here on the left, obviously if I don't have a turret, so if I was trying to poke a shot and kill that enemy tank destroyer on the right hand side, I'm probably going to get shot as I do that. So trying to be a little bit careful, but I would like to get rid of him because that tank is keeping us, detected right now. Try to get this finishing shot at enemy TD on the left. Unfortunately doesn't hit, was a small slimming shot, but he does get taken out by our friendly J-Ru, and that frees us up somewhat to try and use this ridge. And you can see this is where you can use your 8 degrees of gun depression, and you can use those little ridges quite effectively. The concealment was really good there. I was shooting at enemy Progetto heavy at the back and not getting detected. If I get too close, I'm going to get proxy spotted by these other these TDs. But so far they don't have any vision at us. Looking trying to squeeze one in for the Oni there, but he gets back round in cover. We do squeeze a nice one into enemy heavy tank there, putting them onto a potential one shot to us. I'd like to try and finish him off if I can. This time I do hopefully get a shot into that Oni, but I don't manage to pen it there. But again, I'm just going to try and get some shot. But I'm just being careful I don't get caught out by this heavy tank or any tank destroyers which may be covering him. But the enemy artillery, the equalizer, is looking for us. Thankfully, he's using the barrage gun, which is probably the worst gun on that tank. But it's good for us. But we do want to try and get out of there because I don't want to get shot by this tank. I'm very aware of the fact that our base might potentially be pushed soon, so I want to try and hurry this up and get rid of this tank so I can get back and cover our base. But I really want to help our team just clear this side out so they don't get bogged down and unable to defend the base. We put one in, putting this enemy heavy onto a one shot to us now. We bounce a shot, which I assume is from that Progetto maybe. Should have the finishing kill here, but I kind of fluffed the shot. But we do lose our spot. We might have a second opportunity to take this tank out. This time we aim a little better. We do pick up the kill there on the Oni, putting us onto 3,000 damage with 2 kills. With 1,200 blocked as well. Like you say, when you are top tier, you can block a bit of damage in this tank and a tiny bit of assistance. But still a very close game, 7 versus 6. I have decided that I'm going to go back to defend the base here rather than continue pushing down that line, because I don't want to end up getting capped out. Although I'd like to have killed that enemy Progetto, I think the safest thing for me to do is go back, defend the base, make sure the base is secure, and then we can go back for that rest of the damage, because it's a 5 versus 5 now. It is a it's bang on even game, and anything could happen. So we don't want to throw our tank away really easy. We know the Progetto is kind of out the fight to us. That heavy tank is on the other side, and he's probably occupied by our friendly medium. So hopefully we can keep him there for as long as possible. And that's one tank I know, at least know their location. So I'm trying to move across to this hill, which was where there was an enemy heavy tank when I last checked. I'm not getting detected here, but then this enemy heavy does poke up, and we do get the spot. He should get shot by our friendly team. He does. I also put one shot into him, putting him onto a one shot to me now, trying to get under the ridge so he can't shoot me. He should get taken out by our friendly team, and in fact he does get taken out by our friendly equalizer. Now the enemy equalizer, the enemy artillery, is looking to shoot us. Just trying to juke him. We're going to go left and then turn right at the last minute in case he was going to shoot us. Thankfully we've evaded that. We managed to pick up now 1,200 assistance and 3,400 damage with 2 kills. So we are now having a decent game, and this is one of those more fun games when it is even like this, because you don't always get those games where it goes down to a wire where it's 4 versus 4. Quite often it ends up being like 12 versus 2 at the end, and that's never as fun. But when it's this even and you have to try, and well, you have to try to get the win, I find that a lot more enjoyable. So I've asked for our friendly tank destroyer there to cover us while I go in. So if we do spot anything moving in, then he'll be there to cover us. But I'm not getting detected at this point, which leads me to believe that the enemy tanks are doing one or two things. They're either sitting at their base waiting for us to come, which is quite likely because they do have a sturv and an artillery, or they're pushing round onto our base right now. But I'm just going to have to push to their base and see if we can work out if they're there or not, because turning around now it's going to take me so long. So I'm just going to push their base, see if we can at least kill the enemy artillery. But the longer this goes on, I'm obviously concerned that they're going to go for our base. But we do have a tank destroyer covering our base, which is good, because obviously if they do push that way, at least I'll get a bit of information early so I can try and react to the situation. But I want to try and deal with the enemy artillery now that we are so close. And I suspect he's probably round this corner. He's either around this corner or the whole team started to run down the 1-2 line. But we do have a friendly tank destroyer with us now. He's obviously quicker and more mobile than us. So hopefully he can push forward and spot and find out where these enemy tanks are. And I'm going to try and push forward. And yeah, at this point I'm thinking, oh, they've gone. They must have gone down the 1-2 line. So I'm not spotting anything here. I thought I would have found the equaliser. And I've just done a lot of driving for probably no reason. But then as we come around this corner, we do spot their enemy, well, pretty much all the remaining tanks bar the KB2 on the other side. Now the Sturv's obviously very dangerous for us here. I don't want to sit where I am. He's just going to be able to farm us. I've just got to try and push forward because I know there's a 1-shot heavy or a 2-shot heavy to our left, and I want to try and deal with them. He is a 1-shot now. Now at this point I'm just trying to push and kill this Bajette before the Sturv leans over and shoots us. Thankfully we've got our friendly tank destroyer covering us to kind of prevent that. He is a 1-shot, so as long as I don't fluff my shot like this, I'm going to lose a lot less hit points. Unfortunately for me, I fluff it and I have to swap to the small minigun to take him out. Well, that's where the small minigun did come in handy for us, but I shouldn't have needed to use my secondary weapon because I should have not fluffed that shot. I mean, it puts me on a 1-shot to the Sturv, which is now awkward because I didn't want to be a 1-shot. I wanted to be able to poke up and just eat a shot onto the Sturv, get a shot in, and then that would put the Sturv onto a 1-shot also. But that's not happened. But thankfully our friendly tank destroyer with us is full health. So if he pokes forward and just eats the shot, then I can poke forward and put in the shot. But obviously I can't talk to this TD, so I can't communicate that. But that's really what I want to happen, is for him to just eat the shot. He's not going to kill him in one, and then we can take him out. Because it's only this enemy Sturv and the enemy equaliser which I'm concerned about, because the equaliser is running, and that means he's going to try and cover this Sturv. So I need to try and up against time to try and kill him. I do put the 1-shot in, which is good, because that puts him onto a 1-shot to us now. I'm hoping our friendly TD can take him out, but he has just fired, so I'm going to try and finish him off myself. We do finish him off, and then as predicted, the equaliser is now looking for us. So that's why I wanted to kill that enemy Sturv quickly, because if we would have killed him any slower than that, the equaliser could have just been covering and shooting at us while we were trying to kill the TD, which would not have been ideal. But thankfully we take him out, picking up 4 kills now, putting us into 4,600 damage with 1,200 assistance. We swap to the HE. Like I say, we do have 80 pen on this HE to try and boost our damage, because that's more than enough to actually pen this enemy artillery. And yeah, that could just boost our damage numbers at the end if we're able to get a HE pen in. So he does get detected in the low ground. I'm trying to move in because he is a 1-shot to us. He's also, our friendly tank destroyer is also a 1-shot. So I don't really want him to get taken out and then allow the equaliser to reload. So I'm just trying to move over. I don't know what way he's facing right now. He's facing at the opposite way, which allows me a lovely shot into the rear of the tank with the HE. Pending that. Now I should have I don't know why I didn't swap to the minigun and then just kill him there, because I could have picked up the kill at the end. I just completely forgot that I had a secondary weapon. But yeah, that brings us then to the video. Getting 4 kills, 5,000 damage, 1,200 assistance with 1,500 blocked, picking up the ace tanker and the high caliber. So thank you so much for watching. As I say, I will be going through all the tank destroyer line, trying to get a video out on every single tank destroyer in this line. So if you do want to see the rest of the videos, please remember to subscribe. Thank you so much for your amazing support as always. Happy tanking.
Hadouken!